Hey guys, it's me Gani and I'm back with my Friday midnight vlog with the events that has been happening in and around Australia for the past week or so. Let's get straight into it. Let me start with the state of Victoria. Victoria has been seeing a downward trend in coronavirus cases for the past couple of weeks, which is a fantastic news. Today, Victoria recorded 113 cases. Yesterday was 113 cases as well. So 2 days in a row, we have seen cases in low 100s. A couple of weeks ago, we were recording cases in high 700s. So no one would have thought at the time that Victoria would be turning the tables in such a quick time frame. So this is a huge achievement to see the cases trend downwards for the past 2 weeks. So it shows that how hard the Victorian public health officials have been working, and the Victorian government, including the Premier Daniel Andrews, they all have been doing a great job. And the Victorian public, without their support, I don't think we would have been seeing cases in low 100s this week. So well done to everyone. If we keep doing the right thing, I'm confident that the downward trend would continue, and next week we will get into double digit, and in 2 or 3 weeks time we'll get into single digits. So the Victorian government can look into easing the lockdown restrictions. So let's keep doing the right thing so that we can get out of this lockdown restrictions as soon as possible. I believe that on 13th of September the restrictions will ease one way or another. We won't be in stage 4, I believe. So the harsher restrictions such as the nighttime curfew, or not able to leave your home, or you have to stay within the 5-kilometer perimeter from your home. So these restrictions are the first ones I think would go, because these are the ones that has been hampering business growth in our community. So these ones will go, and if we are lucky, we will be probably able to visit our friends and family in a smaller group. So let's keep doing the right thing and hope that these restrictions would ease in a couple of weeks' time. Across the country, Sydney-siders must be concerned about what's happening in Sydney. So the CBD cluster that they call it as has been growing for the past 2 days. New South Wales recorded 13 cases today. So the CBD cluster, as I said before, has been growing. We have to wait and see in the morning how this cluster is going to grow. So it's concerning news for the Sydney-siders. Hopefully they can bring it under control. And Queensland, from the north of Australia, Queensland recorded 3 cases. All 3 are related to the youth detention centre, the staff member who was tested positive for COVID last week. So all these 3 cases today was linked to that cluster. Hopefully they can bring it under control as well. And Western Australia recorded 2 cases today. They both are in hotel quarantine, so nothing to worry about there. The rest of Australia has been doing fantastically well. So 0 cases in rest of the country. So which is a great news. Across the seas in Tassie, Tasmanian Premier Peter Lockdwon announced a $7.5 million package today to boost the local tourism industry. So what you can do is, if you are a family, you can apply for a voucher of $550, which you can use to travel within the state of Tasmania. And after you travel, you can come back and use your receipts for your accommodation or for the sightseeing places that you have been to. So you can claim those expenses by using the voucher. Individuals can apply as well. I think as an individual, you get up to $150 in vouchers. So they are doing some interesting things in Tassie. So I'm not sure if the other states are going to follow this, but we have to wait and see how this is going to boost tourism industry in Tasmania. Last week in my blog, I failed to mention about a vaccine news. So perhaps this has been the happiest news that we have heard in a very long time. So Scott Morrison has signed a contract with Oxford and AstraZeneca, who is in the final stage of developing a vaccine for coronavirus. So as soon as the trial has been found to be successful, which is stage 3 of human trial, which means that they are testing the vaccine on wider population. So once the trial has been termed as a successful one, we will start making vaccine on our shores here, which means that as soon as Oxford is ready with the vaccine will be made available to public here in Australia. I'm not talking about the Russia vaccine here because the Australian government has made it very clear to the public that they're not going to look into buying Russia's vaccine as it didn't go through a proper approval procedure. So they're not going to take any risk with that vaccine. Back to Tasmania, the Tassie government passed an act in their parliament to extend the state of emergency in their state for another 2 months. They didn't have any opposition in the parliament to get that act passed. And the Victorian government has been trying to do the same thing here in our state. But here they are finding it really difficult because in our state, the Victorian government want to get it extended for another 12 months. Look, I support this idea. Just because the Victorian government wants to extend the state of emergency for another 12 months doesn't mean that we will be under lockdown for another 12 months. This is only a safety net. This gives a safety net to the Victorian government just in case if there is going to be a third wave in this virus. I hope that doesn't happen because that would be very catastrophic for the Victorian businesses. But if there is going to be a third wave, then we have to address that third wave by enforcing stricter lockdown restrictions. So here they want to extend it for another 12 months. But look, just because I support this idea doesn't mean that the Victorian government can make arbitrary decisions. Any decisions that is made should be based on facts. Otherwise, the Victorian government's position will become untenable. So they have to be really careful about this. And interesting news has been coming from PNG. So this has happened a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure how many of you have read this. So the PNG government wanted to build a data center to store their government files on a database. It was commissioned a few years ago. So the Chinese government funded $53 million to PNG to build this data center, but the contract was given to Huawei. So you all probably know who Huawei is. Huawei is the infamous company behind the 5G technology. They have been booted out of many countries, including Britain, Canada, even India is trying to ban them from their country. So it's this company is in hot waters recently. So Huawei built the data center in PNG. What happened recently was this data center broke down and the PNG government commissioned a report to find out what's happening in this data center. And the DFAT, the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade in Australia, they funded the actual report writing. So the DFAT contracted a cybersecurity company to do this report. The report came out to be quite alarming for the PNG government because the data center that was built didn't follow the actual design, which means that the firewall is very weak, and which also means that there is not enough switches put in place to stop external agencies from spying. So the report goes on to say that it has been done deliberately to spy on the PNG government. So PNG is finding it extremely difficult to digest this information. And they also, I think, have told the Chinese government that they're not going to pay the $53 million back to them because they're saying that, look, if I pay for a service and if the service doesn't work, I wouldn't pay them. So I would ask for a refund, which means that we're going to ask for a refund from the Chinese government. We're not going to pay the $53 million back. So this is very interesting. So China's debt trap policy that we all know how China has been trapping small countries in Indian Ocean and in Asia. They've been trying to do the same with PNG, but it has significantly backfired. So this is a very interesting development. We have to wait and see how this is going to pan out in the coming days. But anyway, that is all from me today, guys. I'll catch up with you next time. Until next time, it's Kenny saying tada, bye-bye.